I'm Mark Stewart Greenstein with a final segment. This is the third of three on why Barack Obama's presidency was not good for African Americans. I didn't discuss crime in cities. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a nice decline since 1993-4 of declining crime, mainly in cities, but really across America. And here came the exception. Starting in 2015, an increase that's spiked highest in urban black communities. And why? Because of a lack of support for cops policing those communities. Obama let his attorney general clamp down on police in the name of, well, I don't know. They used the name racist cops. There are very few racist cops left. In the influence of maybe the Black Lives Matter group, they are racist, by the way, and they don't really care about black lives. At least their leaders don't. They have so much better that they can do, and they choose to harp on good institutions that might need a tweak. So what did Loretta Lynch do? Penalize Ferguson. Hardly any new good recruits want to work in that community anymore. Penalize Baltimore. Baltimore's crime rate has gone up significantly since the Freddie Gray incident and since Loretta Lynch, his attorney general, came down on cops as cops for doing their job. So they do less of their job in inner cities. And with it, who suffers? The residents of inner cities, especially the residents preyed upon by criminals, and that happens more in the black community than anywhere else. Black on black crime has gone up for the first time in 20-something years. Barack Obama could have put a halt to this. He didn't. Now, related, did Barack Obama do anything about the arrests for drug offenses, which penalize African Americans in a far higher percentage than any other? Year after year, offenders for doing merely sale of drugs to a willing buyer, okay? A stupid law in the first place. But why he lets his departments go and incarcerate men who are otherwise good, productive people. They didn't do any violent crime. They didn't threaten people. To put them in jail, disproportionately black, it borders on evil. It, to me, is unexplainable. Barack Obama was never this huge law and order candidate in the first place. Why does he do this against primarily black residents who are doing a victimless offense? Clamping down on drugs was engendered by the Nixon administration. And when he did that in the 70s, this was racially tinged. Richard Nixon got political benefit from this sort of law and order stance that would target Latino Americans and African Americans. Obama puts himself in the same mode as Nixon on those grounds. Final grounds. What did he do to help young blacks who would like to get better jobs? He's called for a minimum wage. He hasn't spoken out against it as president or since. A minimum wage makes youthful blacks unemployed. Okay? Young men and women who right now earn $9, $10, $11 an hour, when there's a $15 an hour minimum wage imposed, those kids get fired. Okay? Businesses can't afford to hire them at 15 plus benefits. They could hire them at 9 and 10 and 11 and less extra costs along with it. They give those kids good opportunity to rise up. They give them training. They give them a job. Obama never respected that. In the name of some liberal activists, equality for all. Remember, they talk about equality of condition when they should be talking about equality of opportunity. Obama is smart enough to know the difference, and he doesn't play into it. Okay? This is scandalous because young black males especially, could use jobs that are at a low wage as a ladder on the route to success. When you force a minimum wage on a whole community, you cut out the early rungs on that ladder. They become unemployed. How good is that for them or the society that then has to support them? Ladies and gentlemen, this is, I think, reason 9 why Barack Obama was not a good president for African Americans. I will still contend he was worse than any president for blacks since James Buchanan. Mr. Trump is already better, whether he likes blacks or not. Trump helps blacks. Trump leads to more success, especially among middle wage workers. They've seen nice gains in wages. They've seen more employment opportunities in 2017 than in the last 4 years of Obama's administration. Your skin color doesn't matter. It's what you do for people. And Barack Obama did almost nothing for fellow African Americans.